Hello everyone. So as some of you may have heard in the comment section, I have some news to share, and obviously you see the title of the video, so you know what's coming. I kind of gently mentioned it in one of the videos where I said I'm doing a break from Aikido, and not everyone realized what does that really mean, and a lot of people started questioning, so does that mean I'm closing the dojo or not? And here I'm coming in front of you to say out loud and to clarify, yes, I decided to do this big step about a month ago. It was a difficult decision. I had to think for a long time about that. I talked to my wife a bunch about this as well because we're both teaching classes in the same studio, in the same dojo that we opened. It was a difficult decision, but I realized that is what I have to do. That's the right step to do. There's this system I use sometimes, kind of a navigational system in life to make big decisions. And when I have two decisions, so it's do it or not do it, buy it or not buy it, travel or don't travel, or whatever that would be. So when I have to choose between the two, so this time it was close the dojo or not, I look at both of them and I ask myself, which choice is more fear-driven? So basically, if I would close the dojo, would I close it because I'm afraid I won't be able to handle it, or it's too much, or whatever, or whether that's the right thing to do, even if difficult. And then on the other side, if I would keep the dojo open, would that actually be driven by fear? Meaning the fear of, oh, where will my finances come from? Oh, how will my students respond? And oh, how will I feel? And when I looked at both of them and I kind of measured the weight of that, I realized actually if I would continue to run the dojo right now, it would be fear driven. I realized I need some change. I need to take the next step in my journey. I need to become a student again. I need to learn and I need to rediscover quite a few things before I continue teaching others, since it's such a big responsibility. And when I looked at the possible decision of still running the dojo, I realized it would be fear-driven. I would be running it not because I feel it's the best thing right now for me in my life. If I would continue to run it, it would be because I'm afraid not to get enough finances. I'm afraid what the students will think, and etc., etc. And I realized, you have to face your fears. You have to step over them. You need not avoid discomfort in your life because change oftentimes means it's going to be uncomfortable. And oftentimes we don't want uncomfortable things in our lives. But oftentimes the best things in life actually lead through discomfort. And so having all this in my mind, I realized that's it. That's the decision. I need to close my dojo, as grand and big of a step that is, because I was running this dojo for almost 7 years now, professionally, pretty much nonstop. It was my main source of income. It was my main activity that I spent most time with. I built a whole community around it. It was a lot of people. Sometimes it was even over 100 people from all the different groups. So it was definitely a big project. But for me, truth is more important than comfort. For me, truth and the right thing is more important than choosing the easier path. And this time, closing the dojo is not the easy path. This time, closing the dojo is the right path. I made the decision, I announced it to my group, and this is the last month that I'm running the program. In beginning of September, the dojo will be closed, we'll be moving out, and my students will be continuing to run a small program of Aikido, which I will help them coordinate and set up so that they would still continue to learn. That was their inspiration. They didn't want to stop training, and we thought that this is the best way to go for them. So me stopping teaching them, that would not stop them learning. Now that is not to say that I will never open a dojo again, and me and my wife are considering that maybe next autumn, in a year, after I take a break, after I rediscover some things. After that, maybe we will do it again, just because my students are really asking for it. They were really sad about when I announced the closing of the dojo. I thought, well, it's like not a big thing for them, whatever. It's their whole life is not about that. But I got a lot of very strong emotions and feedback, and it turned out it was very important for them. It really meant a lot. And so that was actually when people asked me, isn't it difficult to close the dojo? I mean, I built it, I built it up, the reputation of it, and I got the name out there, and it's very well known, especially in our city. It's a beautiful dojo. It has a whole living space and everything. And people ask me, so is it not difficult for you to do that? And honestly, no. Small, somewhat, but the difficulty is not about closing the dojo. I mean, a dojo for me still, it's just a building, it's just a space. I created it twice. I opened one dojo, then we had to move, so I reopened another one. And so if I did it once, I know I can do it again. But the difficult moment was telling that to my students, telling that we will have to stop our relationship for at least a while. And that was painful. That was painful to watch, to receive, to see how much it means to them, and to really experience their emotions. It was a lot, and that's the difficult thing of just feeling that I am letting some people down. But that kind of letting the people down, in a sense, for me, I feel it's temporary. For me, if I would continue to run the program, run the dojo right now, at least personally, I feel I would be I would be letting down the people more and more the more I go. The reason for that, and one of the main reasons of me closing the dojo, is because of all the things I did in the past few years. I questioned the hell out of Aikido. I cut the ties with my old organization. I cut the ties with the Aikido instructor that had major influence on me as a personality and both as an Aikidoka. And just questioning Aikido and teaching it on the same time and on the mat, it was a bit difficult. It was conflicting. Sometimes I felt like I'm lying to my students, and I could bring out some good things on the mat and teach them, but at the same time, there were always these two sides on me. One was like, well, Aikido's not so bad, I can teach that. But on the other side, my mind would say, like, you see the dark side of it, you see the bad things of it. And just knowing how much Aikido is missing and how much it needs to, at least in my mind, how much it needs to redevelop, how different the approach to teaching it would have to be, it was troubling me. And oftentimes when I would teach, I would have this inner conflict of, okay, so is it really the right thing to do if I'm so upset about Aikido, especially right now? And while I see potential in Aikido, while I see potential in what it can be and what it can offer, especially the more I tell people that I'm closing the dojo and I see the reactions of how actually it means, how actually much it meant and how it really changed their lives, I started to realize maybe there is something that I can give for Aikido. Who knows? But definitely not right now. I need to take a break. I need to step away from the role of the constant giver. I need to become a student for a while. I'm very inspired by the hero's journey, if you know what I'm talking about, the whole concept of Joseph Campbell. So it is a circle. The hero's journey is a circle that where you go out from the comfortable known place to the unknown world. You beat the demons, you beat the dragons, and eventually you come back to the same point. You make a full circle, but you come back different. And this is what I see that might potentially happen. This is where I see that I might do that I need to go out into my own journey, just go and discover new things, reinvent myself, and maybe, who knows, maybe I will go do the full circle and I will rediscover Aikido in a first perspective. And if I will open another dojo in the future, it will be different. I will start from very different things. I will start from different values. I will have a different approach to it, and hopefully it will benefit people much more, even much more than it did before. So now the last thing that you may ask is what's next? And it's very interesting. It's a fascinating situation right now, which I will not tell everything about yet, but I will give you a glimpse. So when I closed the dojo, I had no backup plan. I wasn't like, oh, well, if I close the dojo, I can still do that. And I was just like, I need to do it. I need to face the truth. I decided to do it, and then I started to look, okay, so what now? And I didn't have a clear plan yet. A few weeks later, I discovered something which caught my attention. I felt like there is something here. I resonate with this. I had one of those kind of light bulb moments again, and I looked at this certain program. I looked at a certain decision that I could make, this potential, and I felt like that could be my next step. That when I close my dojo, this could be where I can take off, and I will. I decided that I will. I made all the plans, and I will announce that to you on Wednesday. It's a very big plan. It's gonna bring the whole martial arts journey channel and my experience to the next level. So I'm really enthusiastic to share that with you, but I will still leave that for the next video on Wednesday. I will release that and will let you know what's the next plan, I will be doing at least for a while instead of running a dojo. And I hope you will be excited as excited as I am. But right now, I just wanted to clarify and let you know, yes, I am closing the dojo, And it's a big step, but I felt it was necessary. Let me know what you think about that. Do you feel that's the right decision? Do you feel it's bad that I'm closing the dojo? Just let me know what you think. I'm always happy to connect with you, to receive your feedback. But so we would be clear, the journey continues. The journey is not about buildings. The journey is not about a position. The journey is a journey which goes all the way through our lives. And this is just a step, a big step, but a step in the journey. And the martial arts journey will continue, and I will continue giving the best I can to you guys, to the world, and also to myself. And I'll do my best to discover the best answers, share them with you, and continue to journey together with you. So I'll reconnect with you on Wednesday, but before that, as always, I wish you to also own your journey and to find the best answers and to live the best possible life through martial arts that you can.